It is not happy. Oh, we just shut off. Guys, I think the sand test just destroyed this bike. On a 30 amp hour battery, this shouldn't have even moved. I want to start this off by letting you guys know that this started off as a normal review. Over 3 years ago, back in 2023, when I decided to do e-bike reviews more on a consistent level, well, one of the first ones that I reviewed was the Burchda R5. It is 3 years later. It is 2026, and now they have sent me the Burchda R5 Pro, which is a dual motor folding 30 amp hour beast. So in this review, it's going to go through a lot more testing than it did back in 2023. So let's get into it. Everything was fine. I went through the specs, but here's some numbers that I want you guys to remember with what I'm about to show you. Number one, they said that this had a 30 amp hour battery, although the decal was never on the battery, it was on the frame of the bike. The other one is that they said that each motor had 105 Newton meters of torque, and when you put them both together, that was 210 Newton meters of torque. I started to feel that something wasn't right. Here, let me show you. All right, we are sitting on the Illinois incline. You know what? I have it in pedal assist number one. This thing has 100 Newton meters of torque. It is starting to move us up here, but it is regulated by the pedal assist level. So let's put it into 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are barely moving with just rear motor. But we are starting to move. Let me see if I pedal, if that's going to help it any. It is not happy. It is not happy. Holy cow. Let's go ahead and put this thing into dual mode and see if we can make it up. All right, here we go. Throttle. Now we have the power to make it up and over, which is starting to make me concerned if this thing actually has 100 Newton meters of torque per motor. I mean, I'm feeling like, because if it did, it shouldn't have any issue doing that. My first indication was going up the Illinois incline because this bike could barely make it. And then we had the sand test. It is time for the sand test, and we're going to do this in a couple of different ways. We're going to start off in gear number, just using the rear motor. I do have it into pedal assist number 5. I'm going to have to put it down in some gears as we go over the sand. And then we're going to go ahead and activate the dual motor and see how that handles. All right, we're going to use throttle. We're going to use pedal assist, whatever it takes. Let me just start lowering the gears on this already. Okay, so for 100 Newton meters of torque, we should be flying right through this thing. I mean, we're making through it. We're making it through at about 6 miles an hour. But it is not enjoying it. So I'm going to hold down the I button. And when I do that, it's going to kick it into front wheel drive. And that makes it even harder to maneuver. So let's hold it down again and activate them both. Now both are activated. Now we're talking. Does this feel like 200 Newton meters of torque? It does not. Although we are picking up speed. We're at 12 miles an hour. Here we go, rough area. 13. Heading over here. 14 miles an hour. Doesn't feel too bad on the controlling of it. Right now we're just throttling, as you can see. But it looks like 13 miles an hour is about the top speed. That is not 200 Newton meters of torque worth of power. Oh, we just shut off. It did not like that bump at all. All right, let's see if we can take off again. Oh, the motors are shuddering. Not happy, but it is starting to go. It did not like that bump at all. Oh, it's cutting off again. Okay, so here's what's going on. The motors are overheating. They're shutting off to reserve power to keep it from damaging, or maybe the controller is too hot. I mean, we made it some distance. Actually, we made it a pretty good distance, to be honest. But we had to do it in dual wheel drive. And I wonder, have we let it cool off enough to where I can make it over here to the sand or to the pavement? No, this thing is not happy. All right, well, the bike can make it to the beach, and it can partially make it through the beach, but not very far. And if you do that, you're going to have to put it into dual wheel drive. I had it in pedal assist number 5. Look, I'm going to call it. This bike does not have 200 Newton meters of torque, and we're going to find out at the Hill of Doom as well. But the sand test is a pretty good indicator. I mean, I've had other bikes on here with less Newton meters of torque, and we just kept going. So I think the claim is 105 millimeters of torque for each motor. That would make it 210, and we should be gone for miles on the sand, but we are not. All right, let me get this thing to the pavement, see if we can get it to fire up and like give us some power, and then we'll move on down the road. I'm off the beach. I have it in pedal assist number 5, and it is not wanting to go anywhere. Guys, we've done like 6.5 miles on this thing, so I guess I'm gonna have to pull over and see if I can get it to cool down before we can get any action out of this thing, because right now I'm pedaling it without any assist whatsoever. Let's see if I can get some if I put it into dual mode. That's what I had it in. I took it out of it. Now let's see if I have any power. I do, but it's only coming from the front. But at least we're moving forward. So maybe we'll just let the motor here from the front pull us around for a little bit while the rear cools off. We have a good breeze going, so it shouldn't take it that long. And I'm giving it little throttle. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is our battery level right here. And it was all the way over to there. Now, we've only gone 11 miles, and we had 2 miles on the bike when we started. So we made it 9 miles, and the battery has dropped this far down. On a 30 amp hour battery, this shouldn't have even moved. This should still be at full with this many miles. We're in pedal assist number 5. I'm pedaling, and I'm getting no assist. So the only assist that I'm getting is when I use throttle, and it is minimum. Well, as we are limping along, you guys can see the beautiful Chicago skyline ahead of us, the concrete beach over there on our left, and Lake Michigan. Now, I am hoping that by the time we get this bike to the Hill of Doom, even if we can, if realistically, I should be turning this bike around, because I literally just said at the beginning of this road test, this is not one of those bikes that you want to pedal on your own. And you know what? I'm really feeling that is the case. If we drop this amount just going 10 miles, we're never going to make it there and back. So we have crazy battery drain. The controller got over hot, or the motors did. Yeah, we're going to have to limp this back. I'm just going to turn around. I'm going to call it, because I do not want to get stuck 12 miles from home and this bike's not working at all. We're gonna go ahead and try to put it back into rear motor again and see if we have any power. No. Guys, I think the sand test just destroyed this bike. Yeah, the only way, well, let's see if we can just put it into front wheel drive and get some power there. Yeah. So the back motor's dead. At least it is for now. And we have some power from the front, but we're in pedal assist number 5. And so this thing is definitely not producing what it says it should. Guys, I already have the display lighting up saying 24. It's flashing 24. What does that mean? Oh, I actually brought the manual with me so I can see what it says. Because right now we have no power. No power. I thought I'd never bring the manual with me, but for some reason I felt that I needed to. 24 and 24 motor hail signal abnormality. Yeah, I think it is just hot. I mean, everything else was working. So how do we fix that? Can we just shut this thing off and then maybe turn it back on and see if it resets it? Yes, back in the game. But do we actually have any power? No, it was there for a second. Guys, I am stuck out here 8 miles from the house. This is the deal. These are real world testing. And this is what happens sometimes. I sent an email out to the company beforehand, letting them know the issues that I had with the bike. And the reply was what I expected. Hey, we think that you may not have a production model. Obviously, there's something wrong with the one that we have. Let us send you out a brand new bike, which is something that, companies, parts break, things like that. I totally get it. And I was 100% on board with that decision, because I was going to show you guys this review and then have the new bike and then do the review again without all the specs and stuff, just do the road test again so we could see how the bike was actually supposed to perform. I then sent them a copy of the video, and this was their response from that. After they saw the video, they sent me an email and they said, to be honest, the product's performance may be lacking at the moment. As you know, the current market conditions are very poor, nothing like they were a few years ago. As a small brand seller, we're also struggling, and many e-bike manufacturers have discrepancies between their marketing claims and reality, which tells me that they are fully aware that the bike does not produce 210 Newton meters of torque. And I'm assuming that they know that that is not a 30 amp hour battery. Then they offered this. They said, we'll pay you off so that you do not post this video. That's what they said. The second offer was, we're going to give you even more money to review the bike again, but could you please focus on the positive aspects of our bike and downplay any negative points? My loyalty is not to these companies. It's to you guys. To me, it tells me that this company knows that, well, they're lying about their specs so that you guys will buy the bike. And then when I tested it and showed that it doesn't have that performance, well, then they wanted to just pay me to not share that information with you guys. And that is not how this channel works. I love e-bikes, and I want to make sure that the products that I'm showing you perform the way they're supposed to perform. And this video clearly showed that it didn't. So my reply to their email is this video right here. Okay, I'm not going to lie to customers to help support this brand that is lying about their products. That's not the way this channel works. That's not the way that I work. I have integrity, and man, did they mess up when they sent me this, because originally I was just going to wait for the new bike to come in. In the video, I would have told you that I had issues with the first one and they sent me another one. I've done that before with other companies. But when they basically said, I want to pay you off, and then we want to pay you even more money to review it again, but don't show any of the negative aspects, just show the positive ones. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. So this is the video that they get. This is the video that they deserve. Guys, I wouldn't purchase a bike from Burchda. It's plain and simple. They know they're lying about their product, and they just want to trick you into buying it. I appreciate the fact that you guys trust me in my reviews and the review process. I have another company that is also embellishing their specs. I'll be coming out with that video very soon as well. Well, look, guys, I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for trusting me. And until I see you again, enjoy the ride. Just don't do it on a Burchda.